Hi, you're listening to Abbacadabra Radio. I'm Abby, your host, and on this podcast we talk about manifestations, meditations, timeline jumping, tarot card insights, astrological insights, literally whatever comes up. Happy to have you guys here for the ride. Hopefully this audio isn't bad. If it is, I won't include it in the podcast, but it is February 17th, I think, Thursday. I'm about to fall asleep. I'm having an aha moment because I'm listening to a podcast, Noah Lampert, shout out, and he's talking about how things that seem like a really big deal aren't really a big deal. And I think I'm having this moment where I feel like things that you think are a huge deal and this like massive bad thing happening in your life is falling apart. What if you're just picking up on energy of like things being destroyed because you're moving into a new phase of your life and like this has to happen in order for you to like take the steps to actually own your shit and move forward? Like, that's insane. That would be nuts. And it would make sense. Like, I'm thinking about what the last thing that I thought was this big, bad, awful thing. And the only thing that this thing has done, this situation has done, is made me turn back to myself, made me meditate more and like invest in myself more and think about my role here. And it's like projected me into this totally new version of myself, actually, like when I actually get down to it. So this big bad thing that I labeled as a big bad thing that really isn't that big or bad at all, like at all, put me in a whole new phase of my life. I wouldn't be recording this podcast if that thing didn't happen. Or at least I wouldn't be doing it now. I probably would have done it eventually, but I just think that that's pretty wild. So yeah, those big bad things might not be so big and bad. So don't fear them. Good night. So yeah, you never really know when inspiration's gonna strike for insight. I don't know about you guys, but I get a lot of insight from podcasts and a lot of new information from other people's podcasts and other people's thoughts. And that's why, hopefully, what I'm hoping to do here is give people new insight or a new idea or a way they haven't really looked at something, which is fun and interesting sometimes. But back on what I was just talking about last night, I'm recording this the next day in a dark bathroom just to talk about it a little more. Because I hadn't thought of things in that way, but now thinking about any big bad thing that's happened in my life or anything that I've labeled big and bad, with the exception of my mother dying, that was big and bad, and death is different. Death is different, which is fine. It can be its own thing. We're not going to get into that today. We will one day, I think. Not today. So, the big bad things, it was like a tower moment, like when you think of tower in the tarot and everything's falling apart, but I believe that the tarot tower card reminds us that when things fall apart, it's to give us a stronger foundation and to build upon that. A stronger foundation to like build your future on, because you don't want to be building it on, like broken bricks and rubble and all that. No, you want to build it on strong, like cinder blocks of like steady, confident energy. And maybe that's what the tower moments in our lives give us. Like, and that's why we fear those big bad moments so much, because like that change is scary, but like that transformation, that tower moment of everything blowing up or falling apart is scary. Like a lot of people don't like change, and I get it. I hate change too. I really do. I try to resist it at all costs. I'm working on it. But those moments that we have that are so monumental or seem so monumental, when we let go of trying to force everything into place and getting to the end of it so fast and just let it evolve, that's where that transformation happens. Like I was saying last night, that my latest big bad blow up moment, tower moment, hasn't actually been that bad. It's evolved completely, and I've evolved completely from it because I was in a state of like powerlessness and feeling powerless and feeling out of control or not in control, which I hate. So I took the reins back and found ways, how can I feel in control? Okay, I can like be in control of what I listen to, what I'm putting in my body, exercising, doing things for myself, not worrying so much about the outside, but doing stuff for my inner world. Because when you start creating your inner world the way you want it to look, your outer world starts to shift too, which is pretty interesting and really exciting when it starts to happen. And that's what's happening. And yeah, I just wanted to share that. Again, it wasn't my original idea. Shout out Noah Lampert. Shout out Synchronicity, a fantastic podcast to listen to. But it gives me solace, I guess, for when those moments will happen, because they're going to continue to happen, because we're going to continue to shift and change and evolve, and things will continue to change. So that's a good thing. Let things continue to change. Let things continue to shift, and let things fall apart. It's not easy to let things fall apart. Nobody wants to let things just go to shit. It doesn't feel good. I get that. But it's in that shit that you reroute, recalibrate, refocus, figure out how did I create this? What is this teaching me? What belief am I rooted in right now? Because like my transformation recently was not feeling safe. And I hadn't realized that I had been operating at the not feeling safe in a lot of different ways for a long time. So it was a belief that I kind of just uncovered, that I do a lot of things out of trying to get a feeling of safety or security, when really I can just do that myself. But I didn't give myself that option. I had to make outside circumstances make me feel safe, and that's fine. But if I'm being honest with myself, that's not, I can't make the outside make things better. Like it's got to come within. So it's interesting how I've like created those things in my life that give me a sense of safety, when really like everything could change and shift and be gone tomorrow, that make me feel really safe. But I'll still be safe, and I'll still find a way out, and I'll still find a way through. And it was just a very empowering moment. So those big shifts that come, and those tower moments, let them happen. Lean into them if you can, or just try not to resist it as much, because the longer you resist it, the longer it stays around. That first week of my situation, blow up, whatever, again, not even really related to me, other people in my life, I felt so powerless I couldn't sleep. I was afraid to go to work. I was afraid to do things in my life. I put myself in such a fear state, and it felt so bad, and I felt so uncomfortable. And that's what pushed me into this, how can I empower myself? Okay, meditate. What else? Working out. What else? Drinking water. What else? Listening to podcasts that motivate me instead of ones that are just for entertainment value, because sometimes that goes a long way for me. Make sure I'm listening to positive things on on Spotify, and not just whatever I think is gonna entertain me. I pay attention to the music that I'm listening to. I pay attention to is it really, really sad? Is it really aggressive? Or is it positive? Is it happy? That works for me. It might not work for you, but that works for me. So sometimes I'll play I have a conscious creation playlist on Spotify that I love listening to, because it puts me in a motivated mood, a powerful mood, feeling successful, feeling good, feeling good in my body, feeling good about my life, and listening to that in the morning instead of maybe some more melancholy music that I used to listen to in the morning goes a long way. Sets the day a little bit. Let's see what else. All right. So pretty sure I definitely jumped timelines big time the other day. And I've like had instances where this like has kind of happened, but I think, let me not just talk in babbles. Let me actually like tell the story. So I've been working on shifting my beliefs, shifting how I'm viewing things, shifting how I'm viewing other people, and shifting how I view myself. And meditating every day. I'll like take a lunch break and meditate, and that usually does really well. In my latest meditation a few days ago, I was watching fractals and listening to binaural beats. So my eyes were open and I was like watching these like fractals on YouTube. It's pretty intense. And listening to some binaural beats. And then I felt my third eye just like open. Again, as I explained on a previous episode, I see my chakra system now as like just outside of my body in my like auric field, and they're like little like disco ball kind of things, like crystalline like spheres. So my third eye one was like really, really present, and then I felt like I was just looking through that eye, like it was open, it was there, and I was just like getting a full download, and it was wild. Like it felt so good. And then I came out of the meditation. I didn't even do it for that long, maybe like 12 or 15 minutes. And then for the next 2 or 3 hours, I felt completely like not in my body. I felt like I was getting a download. I got home and I was like deep breathing and just focusing on my third eye because I felt like I was like getting a download at that moment and recalibrating. And when I was doing the meditation, I was just in this full neutral zone where like everything's okay. Like whatever happens, happens. And that's where I like to manifest. That's where I like to go in my meditation, because it doesn't matter to like, in my mind, the universe knows what I want, or like the game knows what I want. The matrix knows what I want. So as long as I can put myself in a state of allowing, it's going to come to me, and putting myself in the neutral state where like everything is okay, that's where I put myself. So I was in there, in that space, come out, get a full like third eye, like download, recalibration, I don't know what. And I felt like I was a complete foreigner in my body for like 3 hours after that. It felt so weird. I felt so out of touch with everything. And then I went to dinner with my boyfriend that night, and it wasn't until I started like eating food that I was like, okay, I'm back, I'm good, like I feel like myself. But that like couple hours of like being in that like different state, I just like know that things have shifted. So like, yes, we are always changing timelines, but I feel like I consciously shifted into one more positive, and I started seeing evidence of changes the next day when I was talking to other people and other scenarios were playing out. So that was really, really exciting and really freaking cool. So that like neutral state, if you can get yourself in there when you're meditating, I feel like that goes a long way with timeline jumping, with manifesting, with conscious creation, with all of the above. So I just want to put that out there because I know everybody's trying to do that sometimes. But yeah, that's what's been going on. I just wanted to share this with people, share the idea of not fearing the tower moments, not resisting so much, letting yourself just go with the flow. It's not easy. I'm not good at it. I'm working on it. I'm a very anti like change, and that's what 2022, I'm working on just letting things be and not needing to write the outside. When you work on the inside, you're good. When you try to control the outside, you're never going to win. You can't control other people. You can't control how the script is written. You can't control anything outside of yourself. Everybody has free will. Everybody can do as they please. Whatever. But when you start looking within and start changing stuff, start changing beliefs, start shifting things, that is when you start to see changes. That's just how it is. Or that's just how I've experienced it. And I think I'm going to do an episode about like locating a belief and changing it and shifting it, because I feel like a lot of times people are like, oh yeah, just change the belief, just change the belief. Well, how the fuck do you do that? Like, I plan to walk through my process of how to do that because I think it will help people. So if you're interested in that, just let me know. Yeah, I think that's it. I hope you guys are well. Be sure to email abbacahdabrapod@gmail.com for any questions or any insights you're getting in meditation that I can share, or any timeline jumping experiences that you've had, because they're really fun and really awesome. And yeah, I think that's going to be it. All right, fam. Until next time, this is Abby signing off.